So this is the Rossi XV Sushi 145, the regular Sushi, not the Sushi Light, under the pretty lights on the table. And got a little something here. Just thought about it. Might as well show you this light frame technology that kind of goes throughout the board here. Just up and around. I don't know, can you see that there? Yeah. Just very cool dampening technology there. Got the old flashlight for this review. Normally don't have my flashlight under the pretty lights. And you can see this is wider. Check the Sushi Light on the Table review done just a few minutes before. You can see there's just, this is wider from tail to nose, but still, just look at that massive difference in taper from nose to tail. It's just so massive. It's just such a tapered directional board. It really just kind of shows like how this is different than alternative freeride. It's not just a powder board either. It rips groomers, it carves groomers hard. And you can see this camber profile. They say here's the, you know, the camber zone to the tail, and then the rocker zone to the nose. So you can see there's just nothing for a tail, and then just this big fat nose that's almost as wide as my table. Really tapering down to this just crazy narrow little tail with only 4 inserts where the front has 6. So you can kind of see what's going on there. And a lot of people look at boards like this and say, well, look at the waist width. This should fit a 12 or a size 12 or 13 boot. Look at that tail. No, with tapered directional boards, you always want to factor in the taper. Look at the tail width in relation to the waist and the nose, and you'll kind of see what's going on there. The front foot might be fine, but the back foot might be dragging and you know, sending you to the hospital when your toe hits the snow, lifts your edge up, and you slam down into the, you know, snow and destroy your shoulder or something like that. For those of you wide footers, you've got enough to worry about catching an edge. No reason to worry about catching a boot too. But off the back foot, a little wider than the Sushi Light by a lot. You're looking at 27.6, 27.7. So, you know, that can fit a bigger boot. Not like the Light. And then you're looking at, you know, just about the same, like, let's see here, about 27.6, 27.7, and yeah, just about the same. I mean, not much more going on, just maybe a millimeter or two. Then off the front foot, you're looking at almost 31, like 30.9 or so. And then off the front part insert of the front foot, you're looking at like 32.3. That's just massive up here and smaller back here. So you can kind of see what's going on there. Now let's talk about directional float. I've ridden this in some powder and in the past, not this demo, but in the past, and compared it to all these. Check those comparisons out. But looking at the regular Sushi, the difference from nose to the back insert, from, you know, this minor swallowtail to the back insert is 14.75 inches, meaning 7.375 inches back on board. That's massive, and that's at a 22-inch stance width with, you know, and using the inserts that you would on traditional disc bindings. With mini discs, you can take it even further back on board. You know, probably closer, getting closer to 8 inches back on board. That's just massive. So look at this. I mean, you know, setting it up a little posy, bringing it in here. Look at all that, you know, nose and all just that little tail. Now, Rossi's bases, I haven't like blown my mind. They don't have a real low, but on powder days, like when I rode this in the past on a powder day, I just didn't have the glide that you know, some bases have. Some other bases out there do a lot more in terms of glide, keeping their speed, especially in powder. But, you know, they're not terrible either. No company is really making a horrible base that I review these days. I'm kind of in the upper end, you know, like the 400 and above boards. But, you know, bases only come from a few companies throughout the world. So often a lot of the bases are similar. It just depends on the wax and the conditions. But all in all, you know, this is a fun board. I was torn between the two, the Sushi and the Sushi Light. Love the stability of this and love the quickness of the Light. But both are fast, short. They're super short, you know, as you can see, and super tapered, super directional. But, you know, both are pretty bucky. They're not fun in uneven snow. They're great in perfect powder and great groomers. They just carve and float really well. But they're a little bucky in uneven snow. So, you know, if you want a little more stability in uneven snow, all-day resort riding, the Sashimi might be the call. But there you have it. That's on the table.